Once upon a time, in a kingdom surrounded by emerald forests and sparkling rivers, there lived a young princess named Elara. Her hair was the color of midnight, cascading in soft waves down her back, and her eyes were like twin pools of deep sapphire, full of curiosity and warmth. She lived in the grand castle Verdantia, where towers stretched toward the sky and gardens bloomed with flowers that seemed to whisper secrets of old magic. But despite the beauty that surrounded her, Princess Elara often felt lonely. Her parents, the king and queen, were busy with royal affairs, and the castle staff adored her yet maintained a careful distance, bound by their duties. Elara loved her life, but she longed for a companion, someone who would see her not as a princess, but as a friend. One golden afternoon, when the sunlight danced through the leaves and painted the castle garden in dappled gold, Elara wandered to a quiet pond she had discovered as a child. It was hidden behind a veil of weeping willows, and the water shimmered like glass. She knelt by the edge and tossed small crumbs from her lunch into the pond, watching ripples form circles that stretched outward. That's when she first heard it, a small, croaky voice. "Why do you look so sad, princess?" Elara blinked. She looked around, expecting to see a bird or a squirrel, but there, perched on a lily pad, was a tiny frog. His skin was a deep emerald, and his golden eyes shone with an intelligence far beyond any ordinary frog. I'm not sad," Elara replied hesitantly. "I'm just lonely." The frog tilted his head. "Lonely? Then you need a friend, don't you?" Elara's eyes widened. You can talk?" "Of course I can," said the frog, puffing out his little chest. "I am not an ordinary frog. My name is Fenwick, and I know what it means to be alone. But perhaps we can be friends." From that day on, Princess Elara and Fenwick met at the secret pond every afternoon. They shared stories of their worlds. Elara spoke of the grand halls of the castle, the bustling markets, and the parties she was expected to attend. Fenwick told tales of the forest at night, of glowing fireflies, secret mushrooms, and creatures that no human had ever seen. At first, it seemed strange to the princess that she laughed so freely with a frog. Yet, in Fenwick's company, she found a joy she had never known. She realized that friendship didn't require similarity, it required understanding, loyalty, and heart. As weeks turned into months, their bond grew. Fenwick would sit on Elara's shoulder while she read her books aloud, and he would leap gracefully across the castle gardens, guiding her to hidden nooks where wildflowers bloomed. And when Elara faced the sadness that sometimes tugged at her chest, moments when the world felt too vast, too heavy, and too lonely, Fenwick was always there, croaking gentle words of encouragement. "Even the smallest creatures can make the biggest difference," Fenwick would say, blinking his golden eyes with gentle reassurance. One day, a terrible problem arose in the kingdom. The river that ran through Verdantia, which had always kept the fields green and the people healthy, began to dry up. Crops withered, and the villagers whispered of drought and famine. The king and queen were worried, but no one could find the cause. Elara, remembering the secret pond where she had met Fenwick, decided to investigate. She crept away from the castle at dawn, her silk gown brushing the grass, and found Fenwick waiting patiently on his lily pad. "Fenwick," she said, concern lacing her voice, "something is wrong with the rivers. Can you help me?" Fenwick nodded. "I know the source of the river. Deep in the heart of the whispering forest lies a magical spring. If it is blocked or poisoned, it could stop the river." Without hesitation, Elara followed Fenwick into the forest. They walked under towering trees whose branches tangled like ancient fingers, through patches of sunlight and shadow. Fenwick led her across moss-covered stones and over babbling brooks, hopping and guiding her with confidence only someone who truly knew the forest could possess. Finally, they reached the spring. And there they found the source of the problem. A pile of stones and debris had blocked the magical waters, and shadows of dark energy hovered around it. Fenwick looked at Elara, determination in his eyes. "You are braver than anyone in the castle," he said. "Together, we can fix this." With Fenwick's guidance, Elara used her strength and wit to move the stones. The shadows shrieked and swirled, but Fenwick's presence gave her courage. Inch by inch, they cleared the blockage, and finally, the water began to flow again, sparkling and pure. The rivers of Verdantia would live. The princess and the frog returned as heroes, though few understood the heroism of a small green frog and the quiet courage of a young princess. But for Elara, it didn't matter. She had something far more precious than recognition, a friend who had proven that loyalty and courage weren't bound by size, shape, or rank. Years passed, and life in Verdantia moved on. Elara grew into a wise and compassionate queen, beloved by her people. Fenwick remained by her side, not as a pet, not as a mere companion, but as her confidant, her advisor, and her dearest friend. Even as time aged the castle walls and her hair gained strands of silver, Elara's heart remained young, for it was nurtured by a friendship that had never faded. She had learned that true friendship transcended appearances, expectations, and even the boundaries of the ordinary. One quiet evening, as the sun dipped behind the hills and painted the sky in hues of crimson and gold, Elara sat by the secret pond. Fenwick croaked softly beside her, watching the water ripple with the reflection of the stars. "Fenwick," Elara said softly, "I never knew a friendship like ours could exist. You've taught me more about love and loyalty than anyone else in the kingdom." Fenwick blinked slowly, his golden eyes reflecting the twilight. "And you, Elara, have taught me that even the smallest among us can change the world, if we believe in someone. Our friendship is magic, and magic, well, it never dies." And so, in the heart of Verdantia, a princess and a frog shared a bond that endured beyond the trials of life, beyond the passing of time, and beyond the understanding of those who only saw the world in black and white. No matter the storms that came, no matter the shadows that threatened, they never lost each other. Their laughter echoed through the forests, their courage rippled through the rivers, and their friendship became a legend whispered by the trees, carried by the winds, and remembered by every heart that had ever known loneliness. For Princess Elara and Fenwick, the frog, had discovered the greatest treasure of all, a friend who would never leave, never judge, and never forget. And in that treasure, they found a happiness so deep, so enduring, that not even time itself could erode it. And so, their story continues, in every breeze that brushes the castle gardens, in every ripple across the secret pond, and in every heart that dares to believe in the power of friendship. For even in the quietest moments, when no one else is watching, the princess and the frog laughed toget, reminding the world that some bonds are eternal.